let's hit it. Remember, put Jesus on the front, pray before you go. I bought a muscle bike from a keyboard company. In a land full of muscle bikes, there is a 1300cc middleweight standout, and it punches way above its weight class. Alright, this is the Yamaha Stryker 1300. This is the Yamaha Raider's little brother, basically. The Yamaha Raider, as I understand it, the 0 to 60 is about 3.8 seconds. This does it in 4.5. Although I'm getting more like 4.2, 4.3 with the EFI Cobra 2000 under the seat. 646 pounds wet. It's got a 1304cc single overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder on the motor. That is the same power plant they put in the V-Star 1300. They kind of mess with it. And you can tell when you ride this. This is actually a quick little bike. With almost 69 inches on the wheelbase, it's 3 inches longer than my 2005 Honda Goldwing, giving you unheard of stability in a straight line on the highway. All right, Yamaha Stryker 1300. Let's take it on the highway and see what those 67 horses have to say. Let's go for a ride. This thing is so Viking looking. Oh, that bike belonged to Thorfinn. Thorfinn Bloodgrave. Stryker, 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 Stryker. There's my airplane homage. That's all you're getting. If you remember the movie. I bought this bike, I've been riding it all week, and I really just wanted to formulate my thoughts about it, you know, before I just rush right out and make a video. So I've been on it all week. I've been on the highway hammering it, taking it in different situations, cornering it hard as I can with the rake, to see how that affects things. The rake is really not that severe in my opinion. It looks really good. It is raked out, no lie, but in terms of how it affects performance, I don't think it's that much. Alright, so look, 75, almost 80, there's 5th gear, and I don't know if you can hear over the wind what this motor's doing, but it's low. It's not screaming at me, and I'm doing 75, and it's in 5th, it doesn't have a 6th gear. I mean, that's really awesome. This thing is so zippy and quick, and I know it's 644 pounds. To me, that's light. That's not a very heavy bike to me. My Goldwing is 900 pounds wet. You know, it's considered a middleweight cruiser. For what you get, it's amazing. Now, this one came with a Mustang seat. This goes back to what I've always said about buying used. A lot of times you can get a lot of good extras, you know, because it's used. Somebody already did the extras. Somebody already put the extras on there for you. All right, let's hit it. I mean, it's just angry, and it sounds brilliant. And as I understand it, this is the stock exhaust. So I'm glad they made something that's a little loud, even though it's stock. All right. Let's get around some of these people here. The 5th gear is good, got good pull. You know, I'm hammering in 5th, it still wants to go. The bike's very comfortable. The suspension, you got 5.1 inches of travel in the front. I think you got 3.5 in the back. So it's not super bumpy or anything like that, but this bike's very well planted. And having that 210 on the back, that wider rear tire is really nice to have. You know, but what I'm feeling in this thing is torque, effortless pull. You know, and if somebody had told me, having ridden this, that, oh, by the way, it's only 67 horsepower, I would not have believed them. I mean, this comes off, I mean, I know it's got 80 plus foot-pounds of torque, but this comes off as a much faster bike, you know, than its engine class would dictate. The way they're using those 1300 cc's is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Unique fuel mapping, according to Yamaha. You know, I believe that because there's nothing really traditional about this at all. That explains the speed and the torque. I just passed a tractor trailer, a little over 80, and this bike, of course, not moving at all. Might consider a small windscreen for the cold. You know, I'm a winter rider. This is my 18th motorcycle, and I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. This thing's amazing. Used, you can get these between $5,000 and $7,000. I think it's kind of a deal. When you get something that looks like this, it's blacked out like this, it has amazing throttle, it's got great pull, it's got a zippy quick 0 to 60. This bike fears no man. I love the look of the long rake. I think the bike looks fantastic. If a VTX 1800 mated with a Kawasaki Vulcan S, this would be the progeny. You see, son, when two motorcycles love each other very much. If someone had said, hey Todd, would you ever buy a muscle bike from a keyboard company? Back in the day, I'd probably say no. But look what I've done. I bought a muscle bike from a keyboard company. Yeah, it's liquid cooled. Not too many problems. You got 14,000 miles. It says 14,000 miles before your valve adjustment. You know, that's plenty of time before you got to go taking it apart. But even so, everything's easy to get to. Airbox right there. You got a big fat exposed V-twin. You got a ceramic glaze over the cylinder, so it reduces heat and friction. But for some reason, this thing stood out to me, and I don't know why. I guess the fact that it's 1300 cc's, I can't get over the fact that at 1300 cc's, it's got stupid pull. I poo-pooed this bike, actually. I saw one, and then I saw a Raider. I jumped on the Raider, and I thought, the Raider's okay. You know, but at the time I was riding my ZX14 a lot. I was reasonably unimpressed with the speed and stuff. For some reason on this one, I'm just taken by it. I know this bike should not remind me of my VTX 1800, but for some reason, it just does when you throttle it. When you hard throttle, the way second gear winds you up past 60. I understand it's got less horsepower, but wow, this thing packs a wallop. I will say one thing. I wish it had an extra half gallon. I really do. I know that would change the dynamic a little bit, you know, but really it's just extra half gallon in the fuel tank. I wouldn't think that would alter too much, but I think they were trying to go for more urban assault cruiser, not long distance rider. But with the foot forward setup, the way this sort of is, it's really remarkably comfortable. This is actually more comfortable to me than the Fury. This has more pull and more speed than the Fury. And to be honest with you, this to me is actually more furious than the Fury. But you can watch my Honda Fury review on TG MotoRider. Do a full breakdown of the bike. I think you'll enjoy that. And the Honda Fury is a great bike. It really is. I'm not poo-pooing the Fury, but you know, this was Yamaha's answer to the Fury, and this sounds furious. The 0 to 60, 4 seconds-ish. That's kind of furious. No, it's not sport bike fast, but it's for a cruiser, a middleweight cruiser, with a 1300cc engine, giving you a 0 to 60 at 4.3 seconds. And it's not an 1800? Yeah, I would say they did a really good job with this bike. I'll be completely honest, I am enamored and in love with it. It's a soft, squishy, nice, cool ride. It's raked out, but it's not annoying. I can still corner with it beautifully. The front end does not feel heavy, even with the rake and the super tall front tire. Front end feels light, doesn't feel heavy at all. And the bike weight is very manageable, 646 pounds. Being that it's a 60-degree V-twin and a short-stroke motor, it makes it more compact, gives it a lower center of gravity. Your power-to-weight ratio on the bike's also quite good. I mean, it just sounds like a beast. It sounds like an absolute beast. You know, I've ridden 1300cc cruisers. The Fury, two VTX 1300s. This is not like those at all. I mean, it just has more pull, has more speed, and it just looks like a bat out of you-know-where. I love big, fast bikes. I love big bikes, and I cannot lie. My point is, I love my 1800, you know, I love my ZX14. Now, I like big, fast bikes. So when I saw this, I thought, you know, I'll test ride it. And I knew it was only a 1300, and I didn't give it a second thought. I was like, it's a 1300. I'm not going to be impressed with it. You know, to be honest with you, I am actually impressed with it. Because you're getting comfort, speed, and beauty with Yamaha reliability. Wow, what more do you want? We're going to go up here and slow maneuver, even with this long 40-degree rake. Wow. You just go, wow. I think it redlines at 6,500 RPMs, but I've got no tack. I'm TG MotoRider. I'm a daily rider. I've had 18 motorcycles. I ride every day year-round. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it. It's growing like an absolute weed, and I really want to thank you. It's growing internationally, too, which I did not expect to get such a great response from America and around the world, which I'm very thankful for. So thank you for subscribing. Keep watching. I review bikes all the time. I also review different tire sets in the rain, so be sure to check those out. I take them on the highway in the rain. Did the Road 6 and Road 5 reviews. Check those out as well. All right, let's take this thing down and see how annoying this rake is if I just want to bumble around a parking lot. Let's just cut this all the way around. Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. It's raked. It's raked. I thought it slow maneuvered fine. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in absolute love with this thing. So I don't know what more I could ask for for what I paid for it. I mean, these things are not that expensive. And for everything you're getting, Yamaha Stryker 1300, I would way buy this before I'd buy a V-Star 1300 for sure. You're getting the same motor, but it's just tuned out differently. The fuel mapping is different on this than the V-Star 1300, so you are going to get a lot more speed out of this motor. It winds through the gears beautifully. Second gear will get you past 60. I mean, the overlap in the gears is extremely generous. In that regard, if you're an intermediate rider, this is not a terrible bike. Advanced riders will enjoy it. New riders, you could enjoy it. You got some weight, you got some torque. This is not probably a good newbie bike, although some new riders would probably take to it very, very well. All I have to say is, wow. It's not just the soundtrack of the motor, it's not just the 0 to 60, it's not just the cool raked out look, it's not just the black mags and the blacked out look, it's not just the comfortable ride, it's everything. You put it all together and you have a bike that is really addicting to be on, and I've had way faster bikes than this. It's just something about it when you put the whole thing together. And I even like the little aftermarket rear views on here. And look, there's my skull key.
By the powers of Grayskull.
And that's my review of the Star Stryker 1300. Remember, put Jesus on the front, pray before you go. TG MotoRider, signing off.